Hello, I'm Lucy Meacock. A man has appeared in court today charged with attacking three sisters with a hammer in a London hotel room. The women were in the UK on a shopping trip and were staying at the 4-star Cumberland Hotel. They were attacked in their room on the 7th floor. All three are still in hospital, one in a critical condition. 32-year-old Philip Spence from Hounslow faces 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 of aggravated burglary. He was remanded in custody to appear at Southwark Crown Court next Thursday. A London man rescued from the Pacific Ocean after being swept overboard is back on dry land. Andrew Taylor was taking part in the Clipper round-the-world yacht race when he was tipped overboard. He was in the water in stormy conditions for more than an hour before he was rescued and treated on board for hypothermia and shock. The boat's now arrived safely in the US, sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge in 6th place on the 10th leg of the race. Next, times are hard and even Parliament is looking for new ways to generate a little more cash. After decades of denying cameras extensive access to the Palace of Westminster, MPs have agreed to allow a big budget feature film about the suffragette movement to be shot on site. Ruth Banks has a look at the story.
It almost looks as if the clock has been turned back 100 years as suffragettes rally around Westminster. But this is actually Parliament at its most modern, allowing access to a commercial film crew for the very first time. They've decided to open the doors to cameras to bring in some money. And what could be more fitting than a film about women's fight for the vote?
When you're making a break with tradition and past practice, you want to think you're on safe ground. So it wasn't necessarily going to be a sort of James Bond thriller or anything of that kind, but just to have something which is very much connected with the evolution of democracy in this country did seem an appealing topic.
The film Suffragette stars the likes of Carey Mulligan, and the producers are delighted they can shoot on location.
I think it's really important that it's here. I think it feels emotional and like a perfect cycle. I mean, these women did walk these corridors to get the vote, and they did get the vote, and it actually really wasn't that long ago.
We're used to seeing Parliament on the big screen, or at least versions of it, but it was a CGI copy that exploded in V for Vendetta. And in The Iron Lady, Meryl Streep had to perform on a replica set.
It's hoped that giving filmmakers access to one of London's most famous buildings won't just raise money to cover the costs of running Parliament. It'll also provide a big boost to the British film industry.
It's going to be really exciting for the international film industry to be able to have the opportunity to film in Parliament. It's going to be a great boost for what we can offer as a destination in London.
The film is due to hit cinemas in January next year. Ruth Banks, ITV News, Westminster.
Looks well worth a watch. Several London clubs are in action. Let's take a look at today's sport.
London News Sports Reports, sponsored by WeWantAnyCar.com, the Cash for Cars website.
In just over an hour's time, Arsenal take on current holders Wigan in the FA Cup semi-finals at Wembley. The Gunners will be hoping to move one step closer to lifting their 11th FA Cup trophy. There are 3 London teams in action in the Premiership today. Crystal Palace are up against Aston Villa. Fulham take on fellow strugglers Norwich, and Spurs are facing West Brom. All the matches kicked off just after 3, and these are the latest scores. We're now looking ahead to tomorrow's London Marathon. Roads are already being closed. The Mall is now shut to traffic. Tomorrow's closures will include several bridges and all approaches to Upper Thames Street. For more, plus the best places to watch, you can go to our website. That's at itv.com/London. And now let's see how the weather is looking for the marathon now with James Wright.
A short break, whatever the weather. ITV London Weekend Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
Out of there, we've had some bright spells around, but we've also had a fair bit of cloud around. The good news is it looks as though the next few days are going to be generally settled, sunny and warm. High pressure is going to be building across the UK. It'll be pretty much on top of us for a couple of days at least before moving off into the near continent. And even once it's done that, it's likely to drag in some nice warm air in off France. So some nice weather to look forward to over the next few days. As far as tonight goes, then the cloud from today pushing away to the south and east of us and dying away. And then behind it, plenty of clear spells. Temperatures only drifting down to around 6 to 8 Celsius. So a cool night. It should be a frost-free night, but fairly chilly one. As far as tomorrow morning goes, plenty of bright spells and sunny spells. Of course, it's the London Marathon around. Pretty good weather for runners. Might feel a little bit fresh if you're just watching, but the good news is temperatures rise quite quickly to around 16 or 17 Celsius. Plenty of sunny spells to enjoy, and the wind won't be too strong either. The next few days, variable winds, plenty of sunny spells. Temperatures on the warm side, 16 or 17 by midweek, but it will be a little bit fresh by night. Enjoy your Saturday.
ITV London Weekend Weather, sponsored by Centre Parks.
Thanks, James. Best of luck to everyone in the marathon. That's it from the London team for now. We're back tomorrow at 6:25. Until then, have a very good afternoon. For now, bye-bye.